What's up everyone, it's Seth from Myriad Misadventures. Today is August 1st and we are starting the month off with JKD class. Alright, first class of August was pretty small. There were only two of us. We did lots of boxing stuff like normal. We did a little more hand stuff, I feel like, in this class than foot stuff though. Some good combos. We worked sort of circling your opponent with jabs, so instead of just standing and jabbing, sort of like jab and then move a little and jab again, or around the other way, jab, move, jab, move, jab, move. So you're sort of working your way around your partner or your opponent. I really liked that jabbing around your opponent because it sort of keeps you moving. Something I'm not very good at is moving when I box. I sort of stop and attack and then move after I'm done, which results in me getting punched a lot. So I think that if I try to move as I'm attacking, I might have better luck avoiding getting hit. We also did a lot of crosses, like cross, hook, jab, cross, hook, some basic combos like that. Sort of working on the cross to not just as a power hit, but also to sort of keep your opponent away from you. So if the opponent is coming in, sort of using that cross as like a power backhand to push them back. I've always used the jab as a sort of distancing tool to keep the opponent away. And I think it can create more distance because it's the front hand. In order for the cross to create distance, you've got to spend time turning into it. But since the cross is sort of the power punch, it could be that it's better at convincing your opponent to back off than the jab is because you can get more power into it. So it might depend on the situation. If your opponent is coming in but they're not too threatening yet, you might be able to keep them back a bit with the jab, but if they're being a little more threatening, a little more aggressive, maybe use the cross to try to deter them a little bit more than the jab would. We did do some kicking techniques, like starting with the jab and then throwing a roundhouse kick, either low like that or a little higher, and then throwing roundhouse kicks after combos. For example, cross, hook, cross, round, or jab, cross, hook, round. In both cases, you were sort of going left, right, left, right. So cross was left, hook was right, cross was left, so then roundhouse kick was right. The other combo, jab was right, cross was left, hook was right, so then roundhouse kick was left. I actually had a little trouble with that. I kept throwing my roundhouse kick with the wrong leg. Like I'd go hook and then round with the same leg, or cross and then round with the same leg. I suppose in the context of a fight, it doesn't matter too much as long as the kick is effective, but in the context of class, I kept screwing up. I also really need to work my hooks. I find I'm always too far away when I try to throw them. I need to work on closing that distance with other techniques so that I'm close enough for the hook. So going forward, when we spar with punches and kicks, I'm going to try to focus on the punches. Tung Sudo has a bunch of kicks, and I'm a small, quick guy, so I always relied on them a lot. I tend to fight a little farther away from my opponent and rely on my speed. And it's worked well enough, I guess, but it's made me very, very bad at boxing. I'm very bad at the head movement, like I mentioned, reacting to my opponent quickly enough. So going forward, I'm really going to try to stop relying on my kicks so much so that I can try to focus on the boxing. We do a lot of it in class, so I have the opportunity. So I'm going to probably get punched a whole bunch and try to get a little better at it. Knee was acting up a little bit in Tai Chi a couple days ago, so hopefully it holds up for class tonight. This class was huge. The class the week before, if memory serves, was only 2 people, but this class had like 10, so completely different. But we did a lot of similar things to the last couple classes. We worked some similar combos, the jab, cross, hook, back leg round, and the cross, hook, cross, front leg round, with kicks at differing heights, low, medium, high. We did some pad work, a little bit of open pad work, and then practicing those combinations. And then we did some restricted sparring, practicing those combinations as well, and then slightly freer sparring, but still kind of focusing on those combinations. I'm enjoying doing those combinations more. Like I mentioned before, I need to practice my boxing. The instructor said that my front hand is getting better, so those jabs, maybe those front hooks, they're getting better, but he says I still need to work on the backhand, especially the crosses. He thinks I should be using that a lot more. So that's something to work on. The problem is right now I find when I try to use the cross too much, if I'm not really careful with it, I just kind of walk into a punch. So I need to sort of work on my timing more if I want to be using it more when I'm sparring. But good to see me making some progress. Hopefully we will continue doing some more similar stuff like this in future classes so that I can keep practicing it. I wouldn't want to pivot to something new and lose all the progress that I made on that other stuff. All right, today's the 15th, so we are halfway through August, and it's Saturday, so that means it's time for JKD. Alright, in JKD we are still grinding those hand combos, that jab, cross, hook, and that cross, hook, cross. Honestly, I'm loving it. I am, like I mentioned in a previous video, making a conscious effort to kick less when I'm sparring so that I can practice those hand motions. I'm trying to get more head movement in, which I don't usually do because I'm fighting a little farther away because I'm kicking, and I think I'm making some progress. I definitely think I'm getting better at those punches. That doesn't mean that there's nothing I need to work on, though. I'm having a little bit of trouble with timing on the hook punch. I need to be closer to my opponent to throw the hook punch than to throw like a jab. And I'm having trouble timing when to go in to throw that punch without getting punched myself. So I need to work on reading the fight better, I guess, so that I know when I can safely go in to try to throw that punch, or what techniques I can throw before to give myself an opening to go in and throw that punch. I also often don't rotate enough when I'm throwing my crosses. When we're doing pad work, it's not as big of a deal. I'm usually better at rotating, but when we're actually sparring, a lot of the time I'm just kind of throwing it with no rotation at all. So I'm losing a lot of power. So that's something that I need to focus on in future classes when we're sparring. That will also give me a little bit more distance, which is something I have trouble with. I'm good at throwing that jab and not getting punched, but I get punched a lot more when I'm trying to throw that cross. But if I'm rotating, I have more distance. I'm just standing here and I punch, I'm not getting as far. But if I rotate my body, now my hand is farther out. So I can punch them from farther away if I'm making sure that I rotate. So I'm going to add that to my focus going forward. I'm going to keep trying to mostly box, not use my legs so much. I'm going to try to keep working on that head movement, and I'm going to try to make sure that I'm rotating more on those crosses.